Hey everyone, how you doing? Back with another knife review. Today we're going to be looking at a really freaking cool knife. It really might be one of those more acquired tastes aesthetically, but it definitely speaks to me. This is the 604A or Alpha Tanto frame lock knife. It's a flipper made by We Knife Company or We Knife Co. And it's just something that really caught my eye. I've been watching this company now for a while. And I've had this knife for a while too. It's taken me way too long to review this. But this knife and this company, they've been putting out some pretty cool stuff. They're yet another Chinese knife company that are putting out knives with exceptional quality at a very good value, at least in my opinion. As far as the value goes, that's kind of subjective, but quality is undeniable. They're doing really good things. They're offering just really innovative designs. I can't remember the model. I can't remember if it was the 601, but they came out with their first big hit knife, and it did appeal to me. I thought it looked excellent, and the reviews on it were really good. And they came out with so many more variations of that knife that I knew that they had a huge demand, because there's no way they'd be making so many different versions of it. And I've seen them sell, and I've seen so much positive responses on their fit, finish, materials they use, the quality, the design. It's all good. So I saw quite a few other designs come out, and I did like them, but none of them were really like, I just have to have it. But you start giving me these more slender, sleek, Quaken-esque designs, and that's when I freak out. I don't know what it is about a Quaken type knife that just freaking speaks to me, but I saw something like this, which has that Asian descent, right? And you pair it with a blade like that, and I knew I had to have it immediately. The only challenge was, well, like any good knife company like they're giving you options. So I'm like, well, man, they have a black handle, and then they got a silver handle. Which one do I want? They have a reversed blade, so the actual flat grind is satin, and then everything else is black. What do I get? They did make it easy anyway. For this model, they only gave you purple anodized hardware, and I saw somewhere else where they had like a gold anodized hardware. And when I was shopping for this one in particular, I think it was on Blade HQ, it was only purple. And then they had the light and the dark version of this. But then they made it even harder again, and they said, well, we also have this really cool looking recurve blade with the two different color finish options. So, but I knew I had to have this Tanto. There's a lot of things that I liked about it, and it fits with that Quaken type design. And then you pair it all together with dragon scales milled into the titanium handle. What? Holy shit. I'm not a big skull guy or dragon guy. I say this, I'm talking to my friends, I'm showing them a new AR that I built, and I put that billet jack lower. It's like a skull on the magwell. It looks so cool on this AR rifle I'm talking about. And they're like, I didn't know you were like a skull guy, you like that sort of thing. I'm like, no, normally that shit looks cheesy to me, but it just looks cool. And the same goes with like dragon scales. I don't know what it is, but it just looks awesome. I mean, the whole handle, look at how much hardware is on this pivot. It's just dragon scales, and they're really well done. It's really three-dimensional. I don't know if this is picking that up. It's really like actual scales. They stick up, they give you traction, and then these little lines on each scale give you that linear traction as well, if you're going this way. So it does help give you traction. And then there's these highlight points. So I don't know if it's like a DLC coating on here. Whatever it is, it's holding up really well. It's not wearing at all that I can notice, but they did some sort of stone wash or something to get these relief points, all the lines, all the tops of each scale. That natural titanium lighter silver color is just barely peeking through to give you contrast. And it's just so well done. That's a lot of machining. That's really cool. It's funny that, some people thought this was an integral. Integral? That's, I don't think that's the right name. I'm brain farting here. But one single handle piece or stock of titanium, they think that this is all connected and it's just one piece. It's not. It's actually, let me see if I can get this to focus up close here. There's a seam here, and I don't know if you can see through it or not, but there's definitely a seam here. But this ridge allows it to really look as though it's just one piece of titanium for the handle. And it's not. It's definitely two different pieces. There's just such minimal hardware you can't really tell. This pocket clip, also shaped and contoured titanium, is has a long post that goes all the way through here to the other side and holds this end together. And then your pivot screw on this side is the only other thing holding the whole handle together. So really, really nice design, very minimalistic as far as hardware goes. And then all the screws have, come on camera, that star pattern. Which is pretty cool. And it did come with a tool where you could disassemble. So I thought that was nice too, which I obviously used to re-anodize because, as I said, it only came in purple, which I do like purple. I didn't really prefer the actual color or shade of purple that they chose. It was almost more of a pink. So I kind of gave it this, and I don't know if you can pick it up or not, kind of like a Godzilla lizard ocean sea green with like this dingy effect on it. Pretty cool. This already had, like I said, that dingy look, but it's been scratched up from being carried so damn much. There's a couple points on here where the silver's actually showing through again from the titanium, so I'll probably have to re-anodize it. But yeah, and I don't know if you can see it either, but there's the Wii logo, yep, right there on the pocket clip as well as on the pivot pin. But yeah, I went with that kind of bluish green, sea green. And I like it because it kind of just reminded me of like, it's like a dragon lizard sort of look anyway. Anyway, holy crap, this thing's amazing. I don't even think I got into the specs yet. Sorry. 8.75 overall length. The blade length is 3.875 inches. The blade thickness is 0.16 inches. It's made, the blade material is CPM S35VN. And you can, oops, I'm not even in the frame there. That's the only marking on the blade is right there. S35VN. Nothing else. Nice and clean. They don't blast it with logos or anything like that except for on the pivot there. Cool sort of a collar right here. I really like that look. Kind of domes out a little bit. But good blade steel. S35VN is very good. It's always performed very well for me. It's not like an M390, but it's very good. It is a Tanto version, kind of modified. The handle is 5 inches. The handle length at its broadest point is 0.56 inches. So I think that's similar to like a Benchmade Griptilian, maybe even a little bit more narrow. And the weight they claim is 4.26. Let's see what I have on my scale here. Let's see what it says. 4.45. So, 4.25. Okay, so it's pretty much the same as what they said. 4.25. Yeah, they said 4.26. Okay, so pretty spot on. Not bad at all. And I think for pretty much a 4-inch blade, that's a good weight. Really, really beautiful design here. I love how everything flows together. I just love the aesthetics of it. The Tanto is kind of that more traditional as far as the actual edge goes. It's rounded on the tip. It's not just a flat, frontmost portion of the blade. It's not just flat. It's actually curved a little bit. And then it's a more gradual, there's still a point, but there's a more gradual transition. And then even this is curved just ever so slightly. It's a flat grind, and it's got a DLC coating that's also stone washed, so you can get a little bit of contrast there. Then you have a nice, consistent, beautiful machine satin finish. If I can get the damn camera to show it. There we go. All the way on the flat. And then it's more of just like a machine. It's less, this looks almost like it could be done by hand. This looks like it's ground by a machine on the front portion of the blade here. And then you have the actual relief edge, cutting edge right here. And it sharpens almost all the way down completely, so very good edge design and blade design here. And then you have that DLC all the way around the flipper with a little bit of jimping here, and all the way on the back with some very, very mild jimping right here, but it does give you a little bit of traction. And then you have the skeletonized area here where, again, you have that coating on the inside. And everything is chamfered, so there's no sharp edges. It's not crowned, but they just took off any sharp edges anywhere and everywhere. Very fast. I'd say medium, maybe a slightly, I don't know, if 5's a medium, it's a 6 out of 10. It's just enough to give you enough really good resistance to fling that blade open. You could probably shake it out. There we go. So there's some good tension in there. You really got to whip it hard to flip it out like that. But it's super solid lockup, super smooth action. And the lockup again is awesome. It's right around 50%. Even after I torque on it, you know, I'm a stickler for my frame locks or liner locks. It's got to hold up to that, and I think it only moved over to 50%. Awesome. No stick, no lock rock. You have the steel lock bar insert in here. I don't know if you can see it very well, but it is definitely in there. They colored it black. And then you have your over travel stop as well, so you can't go past, and that's also part of that steel lock bar insert, which most people are doing, and it's held in by this titanium screw right there. Chamfered very nicely on both sides. This is very comfortable to get your hand, or I'm sorry, your thumb or your finger in there to disengage that lock bar. And that's really, I think the biggest takeaway is that it feels in the hand and in the pocket just as good as it looks, if you love the way it looks. If you hate the way it looks, then I just take back what I said. Then it handles and feels way better than it looks in that case. But for me, it's just a win all the way around. The sweeping curvature of everything just makes it so comfortable in the hand. And the contour of the actual handles, again, it's just super comfortable to grip. And it's very slender and narrow, so it's very comfortable in the pocket as well. For such a large knife, it's narrow. It's not really broad, but for such a long knife, it's sleek and compact. You know, that's what Kwaiken designs are all about. Most of the blades hidden in the handle, right? And so when I put this in my pocket, even though it's a very long knife, you know, I think 8.75 inches overall, it just blends right in. I don't even realize I'm carrying it. And I love using this. So that's the great thing. It's a good balance between design and really good execution of it, and so you have beautiful aesthetics, and then you have exceptional capability. The knife blade design itself is extremely durable. This tip is stupid strong. So if I did need to do some really hard cutting with this, or stabbing or whatever, I really wouldn't have much of a problem, okay, by its design. Yet it's still very sleek, and in some ways I think elegant. Freaking gorgeous. Really, really impressed with WE Knife Company's, all of their frame locks have been really well done. All the geometry has been great. This is 6AL4V titanium. And I think another reason, and I almost forgot to mention this, I think another reason why it's so light for its size is that they mill out the inside. I don't know if you can really see that, those channels in there, but they machine out all of the excess titanium in there. So that's pretty awesome. It really lightens things up quite a bit. I don't know if I'm getting that side very well or not, but yeah, you can see on this side a little more. I also like that recess cut that they put in for the frame lock. They put it on the inside. I don't know why all knife makers don't do that. Yeah, just so well done. Yeah, so there you have it. This is not expensive, or I'm sorry, it's not inexpensive, however. I wish it was cheaper than it was. I paid, when it first came out, $250. For whatever reason, they went up a little bit more to $298, so about $300 for these knives. I think it's totally worth it, abso-freaking-lutely, but that's because the way it looks really speaks to me, and it's matched with perfectly executed fit, finish, assembly. Everything's perfect. I love the way it feels. I love the way it locks up. I love how solid and reliable it is. I love what I could do with this knife if I really had to. You know, beat it up or put it through harsh conditions. I know it would persevere. I love its, I guess, kind of like the heritage or the cultural influences in the design. I think it's just awesome. And I think that you're getting good materials and amazing aesthetics. So to me, it's worth that price. Absolutely. I want another one, actually. So, but they're all sold out. I can't find them anywhere else. I'm really, really impressed with WE Knife Co. Out of China. I think that they're right up there with like Riati, Kaiser, Reich. Man, I know there's some other ones I'm just not thinking of. Maybe some. I think Stedemann. I think that's how you say it. Maybe some of those knives, some of their higher end ones, are on the same level as some of the knife companies I was just listing. But all of those knives really, or all of those companies, are out of China, and they really produce really high quality knives with good materials and really good designs that would normally cost you an arm and a leg to try to get your hands on, and they bring it to you at a very affordable price, and they assemble it and they design it so that way it's still a very good knife. It's not just a good looking knife, but it's a good quality knife that's going to actually last you if you need to use it. So that's really it in a nutshell. As far as Size comparisons. I probably should have brought some other Quakens out for this video, but I just didn't think to. How about a Paramilitary 2? You know, it's got a shorter blade, of course, but it's got about the same length handle overall. So it's very similar in that length. But as you can see, the Wee Knife Co., the Dragon Knife as they call it, is a little bit longer. About this Griptilian, no, Griptilian's quite a bit shorter as well. So yeah, it's a pretty long but slender knife, as you can see. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. These knives are awesome. I hope to see much more like this from Wee Knife Co. in the future. If you haven't subscribed, please do so and like the video, and I always welcome your comments and feedback. Thanks again for watching, and take care.